When noticing somebody for the first time, or hooking up with someone, or getting to know someone you're interested in, there are always things we could consider either turn-ons or turn-offs. And so I figured I would take this time to break down 10 turn-ons and 10 turn-offs for me personally. And mind you that I'm not only talking about the sexual stuff, but also personality traits, hobbies, habits, as well as mutual interests. And before I start, I'm very well aware that every one of us has our own list of things that can turn us on or things that we consider to be deal breakers. So even if I list something as a turn-off for me, I recognize that many people might feel differently, but it's purely my own personal opinion based on my own preferences. And in no particular order, we're just gonna jump right into it. So with turn-on number 1, that would be getting a good morning text. I just love the idea of potentially being, among one of the first things that a guy thinks about and wants to start off my day wishing me a good morning. I love to do the same, but it just goes a million miles in my book if I wake up and I see a good morning text from you. And the number 1 turn-off I'm going to list is gamers. Now, I'm pulling from past experiences. A couple of the guys that I've been with more seriously in the past have been gamers, whether you're a video gamer or a computer gamer. Unfortunately, within a couple of those scenarios, I felt that gaming became a priority and sometimes over me, and it's resulted in either bad sex life or emotional neglect or just lack of good quality time. And so since with a few experiences under my belt, it's turned me off to the idea of being with someone who is a gamer who loves to just play games all the time. Turn on number 2, we have foreplay. I love foreplay. It's so hot. I love the build up to something intense. Even if it doesn't necessarily have to lead to something, I think foreplay is really, really hot. And number 2 turn off for me is having your phone out while on a date with me. I feel like I shouldn't need to explain this, but there is something, I feel like it's only polite to disconnect. By having your phone out makes me feel less significant or less relevant to the conversation. That is just a sign to me as to where I fall in terms of priority on a date. Number 3 turn on for me is having career goals and acting upon them. I am such a goal-oriented person. I'm always striving to better myself and striving to work somewhere and work my way up within my own career and to be taking the steps to actually get there. And I want the same from somebody else, but it's a turn on to me to meet someone who is just as career driven. Number 3 turn off, and some of this might be semi-controversial within the gay community, but my number 3 turn off is smoking, cigarette smoking, big turn off, but also any drugs of any kind. I know that it is very much, very normal to partake in any type of candy drugs. Cigarettes are a complete deal breaker for me, but I'm not a drug user myself. My poison that I pick is alcohol or cocktails, and so I would prefer somebody who's kind of within the same boat as me on that. Again, I don't judge on past experiences. I don't judge those that love to partake and enjoy it. I really don't. But for me, it's a personal preference and one that I would kind of like to be in sync with my significant other. Number 4, turn on, and that is making the first move and somebody who takes charge. Now, I am a naturally outgoing person and I have no issue in taking charge over many things in my life. And that is why it's a turn on to me if the guy that I'm interested in is the one that makes the first move and takes charge. It doesn't have to be all the time, but there are times where I love that initiative directed towards me, and I think that is such a turn on. Number 4 turn off, unkept grooming. Now, I am a big fan of, hair, facial hair, body hair. I don't discriminate. However, when it comes to the manzillion area, if you will, I do think there should be a healthy sense of grooming and manscaping that does happen down there. I prefer not to maneuver through the bushes, just like how we like to mow our lawns in our figurative yards. Just mow your lawn down there. Number 5 turn on, someone who loves movies. I am a huge movie person. I love seeing movies. I love talking about movies. It's a big thing for me, and it's a major passion of mine. It's part of the industry that I work in, and so it is a turn on for me if if a guy is into movies and loves to go to movies and talk about them with me. Number 5 turn off for me, someone who is a biter. There are many things you can do with your mouth that will turn me on, but biting is not one of them. And I speak this from experience. I never want to be entangled with you in a sexual encounter and wondering if your teeth are going to draw blood. I guess I'm not meant to be with a vampire. Sorry, vampires. And number 6 turn on for me is a strong hugger. Oh my God. I do judge a good hug, and I love being squeezed. I love the strength that can come from a really good hug. I love it. I love it. I mean, there's nothing more awkward than an awkward hug. We've all had them. Number 6 turn off for me. This is another controversial one, so apologies. If I offend anybody, I don't wish to, but number 6 turn off for me is circuit partying and circuit partier for that matter. I know, you know what, I get it. There is a love, I know why so many people love it, and go love it, to each their own, but it's honestly not my scene. I mean, maybe it's because I don't partake in candy drugs. I'm also not a huge fan of circuit music to begin with, so anybody that is a huge, big circuit partier, I mean, I feel like it's one huge area that, if that is a huge factor of your life and one of your major outlets to be social in, which you have every right to be in, I just know I don't have nearly as much fun, and it's not my scene. It's not my scene, it's not my thing. Number 7 turn on, someone who whispers in my ear. Everyone has a sweet spot, and my sweet spot are my ears. Oh my God, that is it gives me chills. It gives me all the right tingles, any type of whispering in my ear. Number 7 turn off for me, and that is someone who posts negative content or attacks people or starts arguments on social media platforms. Everybody has the freedom to express themselves however they so desire. From where I'm coming from, I feel like the world is full of so much negativity as it is, and I only like to put out positive, happy, inspirational, or uplifting, or funny things. There is a time and place for a targeted argument, and I don't think Facebook or Instagram are that place. I don't know. I feel like there's little excuse for places like that, and I find them tacky, honestly. Number 8 turn on, someone who loves Disney. If you've seen anything else on my channel or you know me very well, you know that a great love of mine is Disney. I am a bit of a Disney freak. I'm a Disney nerd. I'm a Disney lover. And so if I meet somebody who also loves Disney, well, then we have a huge mutual love and a big area together that we will bond in. Number 8 turn off, being with someone or meeting someone who has an active OnlyFans account. Now, again, to each their own. And I don't judge those that have like OnlyFans accounts or webcam accounts or what have you. But with how public I am about many things within my life that I'm doing, my activities, my interests, my hobbies, if there's one thing I prefer to keep private between me and my man, and that is our sex life, and that is my man's penis, that doesn't need to be out there for the world to see. I think that it would just be a matter of a conversation if I met somebody who used to have an active OnlyFans account and stuff. And so it's like, I'm not closed off to having a conversation as to, okay, how does that fit in with our future? But for someone who is active, who intends to stay active, I don't judge you for your choices, but that's definitely not something that's really in sync with me, nor would it really sit well with me, knowing that people could be staring at your junk all day. Number 9 turn on, and that is someone who is physically active and takes their fitness goals as seriously as I do. I mean, I'm not a super built guy, but I am working my ass off to better myself within my own physical fitness. I'm big on going to the gym. I love going on hiking. I'm very active, and I'm constantly motivating myself to better myself in all areas of my life, including my own fitness goals. And it's a turn on for me to meet somebody and be with somebody who's just as passionate about that for themselves. And we could almost act as each other's motivators in a way. Number 9 turn off, inconsistent texting and communication. I'm big on communication and even down to the littlest things. The frequency of texting, the quickness to respond or the lack thereof. It's very, very telling to me about someone's communication based on how they text, at least to a certain degree. It's not fun to necessarily get answers from you a day later or one-word answers like cool or nice or okay. It's like, just tell me you don't want to talk to me. It's like I feel like that's less offensive than just sending a K. And number 10 turn on for me, this is probably my biggest one, is being a good kisser. Kissing is my favorite romantic sexual thing to do. And so if you're good at it, then fan-fucking-tastic. Because it's my biggest turn on. And so I really do judge the ability of a good kisser, which can play into my number 10 turn off. And that is, while kissing me, tongue flickers and tongue thrusters. So just because we're kissing doesn't necessarily mean that everyone is good at it. Because kissing is my number 1 turn on, it should come as no surprise that a major turn off for me is bad kissing. And so when I say tongue flickers or tongue thrusters, I don't want to be making out with someone who uses their tongue like it's Jabba the Hutt's tongue at the end when he's about to die, nor do I want a tongue thruster who is struggling so much to hug my uvula. There is a great way to use your tongue. I'm all about French kissing, but knowing how to use your tongue is important. And I have experienced flickers and thrusters to know that it's a turnoff for me, and odds are that unless you're amazing in every other way, I'm probably never gonna kiss you again if that's how you perform. So there you have it, everyone. In no particular order, it was a list of 10 turn-ons for me as well as 10 turn-offs. Some of my turn-offs might be your turn-on. Everyone is different, and that's the beauty of the world that we live in. So I hope you got a kick out of this. I definitely had fun putting this together. Feel free to leave your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always, thank you all again for tuning in. Until next time, I am Ryan Boehme signing off. Bye, everyone.